Howdy, folks. My name is Justin Alvey, and I'm the host of Season 2 of your Main Topic podcast. And today I'm joined by Kandiss Goodwin. We're going to be talking mainly about her, about the stuff that she's experienced here at Wallace, and her decision to come back to education after receiving her GED in 2011.
I'm Kandiss Goodwin. I'm here at Wallace in adult education, and I'm here on a religious studies degree.
Okay, religious studies, gotcha. Now, why religious studies in particular?
I am in recovery, and I've struggled with addiction, and I got my calling through that in a deep, dark moment in my life, and God kind of pulled me out of that. He had his hands on me, and I just want to serve God, and I feel like the more education I have in that department, rather than just going to get ordained, I feel like the more I know, the better I'll be. So that's why I come to Wallace to pursue that.
Gotcha, that's great. Now, is there a particular church in the area that you go to?
Faith Cumberland Presbyterian towards West Point.
Gotcha. Now, how long have you been attending there?
Since I was born. I was christened there. My parents and my family, we've been going there since I was born.
Gotcha. And then you've just stayed in Coleman for all your life?
Yes.
Or just in the area?
Yes.
Gotcha. Now, what about stuff you're involved in here at Wallace? So, is there any extracurricular you're trying to pursue, or any clubs or organizations?
I got an invitation for the PTK, and I think I'm going to join that.
How long have you been at Wallace?
This is my second semester this time.
Okay. So you say this time. So you got your GED from Wallace in 2011. Is that correct? Okay. So how long did it take you to get your GED?
I took it, and I passed everything but the math, and I retook it immediately and passed it. So just two tries.
2 tries? Gotcha. And then you said this is your second semester?
Yes.
Okay. Now, why 2024? What brought you back in 2024?
I was working a plant job. I've worked everything from fast food to I've worked at every plant in Coleman, and it was kind of like my friends were ready for retirement in the plant, and I looked around and I seen what they were going through. Their bodies were hurting, and in the pit of my stomach, I just felt like that there was more. I was supposed to be doing something more, so I just got brave and quit my job, making $18 an hour to struggle here and be a college student. But it's worth it; it'll pay off. But just the plant life, really watching my friends struggle, like their bodies are broken down, and I just was looking at them being my future. Like that's where I'm gonna be if I'm here. So I just decided to quit my job and take a chance and come to school.
Now, were you decided that you wanted to study religion specifically when you came to Wallace, or is that a decision that you made after?
No, I knew I wanted to study religion. I started my spiritual journey, and I wanted to do it back when I wasn't doing so well, but it just couldn't happen then. And then God just kept opening doors, and He's just helped me to where I am right now.
What are your plans after Wallace, and what you're going to do to apply the religious studies that you got from Wallace?
I plan on transferring to University of Alabama after next fall. I've already spoken with my advisor.
Yes.
That has already received my pre-transfer, I guess, that Wallace helped me to go ahead and set up my plan for after I leave here to go get my bachelor's at University of Alabama in religious studies. And then from there, I hope to get my master's in seminary at Bethel College, where my pastor went to college, and I'm trying to follow in his footsteps because he's kind of my mentor. He's all I've ever known in the church, and he's a really good man, and I trust him a lot. So I'm kind of following in his footsteps. Gotcha.
And has he been at the church as long as you've been at the church?
Yes, our church opened in 1980, and he and us, our family, because a lot of my family goes there. His name is Dudley Brock. He's well known in Coleman. He's a great man. But yes, we built that church. Yes.
So that's great.
Yeah.
And he, you grew up alongside him, and then this mentorship role, and then you're hoping to follow in his footsteps?
Yes.
Gotcha. Now, where is, you said Bethel College?
Bethel College, I believe, is up in Tennessee.
Okay.
I haven't been there, but from what he's told me, it's up in Tennessee somewhere.
Mm. Gotcha. And you'll be pursuing a graduate level degree there.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. Alrighty, Kandiss. Now, what about, you've talked about obstacles and struggles to coming back to school and finishing your education. What other things have you faced that's, I guess, trying to keep you from finishing your degree?
Financially, it's hard to work a full-time job and be a full-time student and a full-time mother.
Yes.
So finding balance between work and homework and my children and their extracurricular activities, karate, volleyball, and just that one-on-one mom and daughter time.
Gotcha.
And then I'm finding time to do other things, like church and friends and, just finding that balance to be healthy, go to the gym, do all that stuff. It's hard to do that.
Gotcha. Now, what about other people that are in a similar situation as you coming back to Wallace, years after they've got a GED or graduated high school? What words of encouragement would you have for them to finish their education or pursue a different path?
I would say you only live one life, and if there's something you want to do, go for it.
Okay.
Because we definitely live in the country where all those things can happen for anyone. And I've had class with 70-year-old or older people, and it was a relief walking into that class, seeing it was an inspiration, and it was like, oh, thank goodness, someone older than me, because it's intimidating to go to be in a class full of fast track and 18-year-olds, but having older people here also helps. But I would say if there's something you want to do, go for it. I mean, you only live once, you might as well try.
Gotcha. And you talked about your daughter earlier. Now, would you encourage her to follow through at Wallace or go for higher education, or what do you think she wants to do?
Yes, her name is Sabin.
Sabin,
Nick
okay.
Sabin.
Great.
Yeah, so, but
Roll Tide.
Right? So she has told me she's very smart. She's in honors classes in middle school, and she puts her schoolwork first. I'm so proud of her. But I hope she does come here and then does transfer to Alabama.
And is she interested in similar things to what you are? Like, does she want to study religion or anything like that? No.
No,
Okay.
that's just mommy's dream. Hers is more based on like what you're interested in. She wants to be a therapist or a psychologist.
Okay.
She wants to help people deal with their problems.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, that's very admirable, right? And I can see, that between the mother-daughter relationship, obviously being in the religious sphere and being, spiritual guidance for people, and then her being, an emotional and psychological guidance for people. I can see the correlation there. So I know that you talked about mentors within your church and outside of Wallace. Has there been anybody in particular at Wallace that has been important mentor to you?
Yes, all of my teachers have made a huge impact on me still being here and not giving up. My math teachers, Miss Davis, Crystal Davis, probably would be the first one that I interacted after class on a personal level. I'm always in her office, always talking to her about school, about scholarships. She is always willing to help me with so much stuff. And I had her last semester, and I had the highest grade in our math class in Math 100. I had a 98, I believe. And that was amazing to me, and I could not have done that without her. Like, I did not make those kind of grades when I was in high school, so that just shows you how much of an impact she had on me. So that was pretty amazing. My math teacher this semester, I'm already getting really close with. They've just helped me believe in myself and talk through things, and it makes me emotional talking about it because it really does mean a lot. It really does mean a lot. I wasn't expecting that when I came here, to make friendships like that. And my English teacher, I have him 2 semesters in a row, and he's helped me a lot. He's a really cool guy. He's smart. I had music last semester. That was the extra class. It wasn't a requirement, but kind of goes along with the church. Like one day, maybe, hopefully, I want to play the piano in our church. So I just wanted to learn a few basics in music.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting class. And my teacher, Mr. Burks, he was pretty cool. And just all of my teachers here are so helpful and so down to earth and so positive.
Gotcha. Yeah, that all sounds great. I'm glad that you're having such a positive experience. Now, what about? Has there been any class in particular that's just like your favorite class? Like you were like, yes, I'm glad that I took this class.
Math,
Mm.
which was
It's a surprise.
I know, but I absolutely love to watch a problem work out. I just love it because it just makes sense when it works out, and I have an answer and a solid answer. It just makes me so happy. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, the satisfaction. Yes, that's great. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy math because it gets tough.
My religious classes are more difficult. The one that I thought would be the easiest is actually the most challenging. Survey of the Old Testament. It
Gotcha.
is very in-depth, and it is harder than I thought it was going to be. It just means I have to step up my game that much harder. But history of world religion is one that I thought I would be least interested in because I'm a Christian. So therefore, all those outside religions I really didn't think would matter. But I've come to learn that there's so much that we have in common. Like, they're not the same, but once you start learning about them, they're so interesting. And it just all comes together. It just all starts making sense. How how Christianity was formed from that.
Yes, and it all comes full circle for you.
Yeah. How do you feel about having adults in your classroom? How does it affect you, and what do you think about it?
Well, so I guess like my first thought about that is that's really unique to community colleges. We do see it a lot at 4-year institutions also, but at community colleges in particular, in their service of the community, and being able to have adults come back, I think that's great. My dad has taught at community colleges, and he's talked about that before, and just how fulfilling that is to see people that are coming back to their education. They've made time in their schedules, and you talked about working, so they've made time with their work, with their kids, with their their dogs, just whoever it may be. They've figured out working that together, and I think it's great. I think adult education is a very, very good thing, especially now as employment constantly changing. There's people that'll work jobs for 15 years and then they'll realize maybe they're not happy with the monotony of their job or whatever it may be, and then they've got this avenue at Wallace State, where they can walk through this door and pursue other things. And I'm really happy with that. I think that's a great service to the community. But I will say, it is funny to be in a situation where, well, especially so before we started recording, I talked about how I should address you. And I think that's such an interesting situation, to be on a first name basis and be in a student with somebody that, has at least a couple years on me, Obviously, you're only about 21. But yes, it is interesting, right? And then you've got a daughter that's in middle school, right? So you've got a daughter that's close to my age, and it's all interesting, right? Because how it all lines up for me to meet you and know you as opposed to meeting like one of your kids or the rest of your family, and how that all works together and through Wallace is just very impressive to me. Do you value education more now than you did when you were in high school?
So much more. Having gone through life and growing and getting older and looking back, sports was everything to me in high school. And as long as I passed, like, I had no problem passing, but making straight A's and going straight from high school to college was not, like, all I cared about going to college because I wanted a scholarship to play ball.
Yes.
So education was put behind athletics. But now being here now, I'm like, I want straight A's here. My goal is to make 100 on every assignment. I give it everything I've got, like every class. I don't never play on my phone. My attention's not ever on Facebook or back at home, like I give it completely 120 every time I come here. And it's so different as an adult. Your values change, your priorities change, and things that didn't matter when you were a kid, they start to matter. So I really appreciate being able to take this seriously and give it everything I've got. Because I didn't have that in me when I was a teenager. I didn't.
And now you've got it. Alrighty, Kandiss. Now, it isn't by accident that we ended up, together at this table. We have our English 102 class together with Mr. Hazenbein. So what do you think about that class? What's your favorite part about that class?
Reading the different stories. Because I've never really been a reader. I've only read a couple of books in my entire life. So now getting to read and experience that part of life, the literature side, whether they're fiction or nonfiction, I enjoy that because I never got to enjoy that. Like I didn't ever like to read growing up. I was always outside playing. So now I'm getting to start to enjoy those things, and I really enjoy writing this semester. Last semester I did not, but now it's becoming a fun part of my day.
And now, what about out of the stories that we've read so far in our class? Do you have a favorite of those?
Quite a few of them actually.
Okay. So what is there any one in particular that really just stands out to you?
The lives of the dead, because everyone has to deal with death sooner or later in their life, and it's unavoidable. And the way we deal with death, I think, is important. How we respond, if we grieve or if we don't grieve, I think that leads to a lot of trouble down the road. That's just my opinion on it.
Yes.
I'm not a doctor or anything
Gotcha.
on death, but I feel like it's important to deal with it properly. And I believe that story is very inspiring on how to turn something bad into something really good. And he used writing as his therapy through a lot of trauma. And I think that if more people would do that, we'd have less bad things happening in the world, because that's how people react to bad things, is bad. So, and I also like The Birthmark, because I believe that people put vanity over a lot. And I don't judge people for it, but I think it's way overrated.
Yeah.
Really. So, yeah, I liked all of them.
Now, what about, we just had our essay assignment on that. What story did you choose for your essay?
The Lives of the Dead by Tim O'Brien.
And then, did you write like a literary analysis, like what went on in his story?
Yes, I did. I chose to, I wrote about the symbolism, the imagery and the foreshadowing of the story, which symbolism was all about, because it was about a little girl that had a brain tumor. And child with cancer is just hard. Yeah. Hard. And it's a reality that everyone has to deal with every day. It's so sad. And the way he dealt with that is amazing. And if other people could do that, that would be great, because that's just something hard to deal with. And Vietnam War, I don't know much about the Vietnam War. I just know that it was very, very hard on the people involved, the families and the soldiers. And the way he talked about that was amazing. So I think he did a great job. I think he's a great writer.
Alrighty, Kandiss. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for joining me. I'm really glad we got to have our conversation about everything. Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
Alrighty, folks. That was season 2, episode 2 of the Wallace State Main Topic podcast. I want to give a special thanks to our audio and video editor, Arlette Flores, and to the Wallace State Communications and Marketing team for making this possible. And a special thanks to you, the viewer. Please tune in with us next time.